welcome to. She was trying to type in her information. I'm like, stop. We're about to go on. Hey, welcome everybody to Prandara Prim's YouTube Live. I am so excited to have this panel of amazing healers, Kundalini healers. We're going to be talking about the power of Kundalini, y'all. So if you don't know what the Kundalini is, you're about to find out. So I'm excited. If y'all want to go ahead and introduce yourselves, let's have the beautiful Bella start first.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bella Harris. I am the founder of Liberated Threads. Well, I provide retail therapy. I really get to the root of not about what you wear, but how you feel within yourself and what you're wearing. And so I use Kundalini, Tantra, play, dance, and all that good stuff to kind of just embody your own energy and feel good and all that good stuff. And yeah, I got some cool projects coming on. I'm tag teaming with Elicia for Mother's Day, where I'll be, she's spearheading the Threads of Our Mothers, and I'll be doing some mini circle skirts, just teaching the history behind the importance of passing down sewing. And then also I have a thrift store meetup June 1st. So
yeah. Yes. I'm so excited. I saw the whole Threads for Mothers. Is that what you call it? Did I just say it?
Threads of Our Mothers.
Threads of Our Mothers. I'm excited. That's gonna be so great. All right, we'll move up along the top. Keena.
Hello, peace everyone. My name is Keena Hodges. I am the owner of Akili Coaching and Unmasked Inscapes, and I am excited to be back with you again. So,
yes,
yes, welcome back. All right.
Okay, so is this my turn? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm Elicia, and this is my second time with Miss Prim as well. So I'm happy to be back as well. But I am myself a Kundalini energy healer. I am a divine feminine teacher. I am a Kundalini activation facilitator, retreat host extraordinaire. So my business is Journey to Samadhi, and I focus on holistic options to help people release emotional trauma, as well as raise their consciousness.
Also, welcome.
Yes. Peace, y'all. My name is Jay English. I am a Kundalini yogi. I teach energy healing, of course, Tantra, do some stuff with meditation, shamanism, get into different things, dark room burials, all that cool stuff. But international retreats all over the country, trainings, sessions, all that stuff. So Anand Yoga is a spiritual school, ultimately, that definitely is expanding. So look out for more expansions this year as we do our level 2. Some of y'all, Keena, you know what I mean. Getting these level 2s and level 3s together. You know what I mean? Yes, so we developed these programs into mastery programs. So I'm really excited to offer and continue to offer. I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary, you know what I'm saying? So we're going hard, and thank you to people on this call who have supported and, are part of the journey for sure.
Thank you. Welcome.
All right. My name is Jeremy Register. I am a Reiki Kundalini healer as well as a sound healer. I'm also an aspiring herbalist. I own Rooted Holistics, which is a metaphysical apothecary where I provide different body butters, medicinal herbal remedies, and some energy healing.
Hey.
And so I've been in this for about 3-4 years now, still kind of newbie in it, but learning a lot, still growing, and loving the journey.
Sure.
Oh, I also do edible gardens. So if anybody in the DMV area need raised beds, holler at me.
Oh, no.
Can you come here and help me with my plants?
You can.
You can raise my bed. In my plant, not my bed, but like, you can probably raise the bed too when the energy work. Come on, help me raise the bed. You're gonna be like, she's
edible garden.
There's a possession going on. Anyway, welcome. So, Y'all know, so I follow Osho, and Osho is like, you got to have fun, you got to laugh. So, and Osho says the more serious you are, the more like a corpse you are, right? So I'm not trying to be a walking corpse. So I love to have fun. And Tantra is about like connecting, enjoying, having fun, having pleasure in all that you do. So welcome. Those of you who are coming on, say hi. Let us know you are here. Peace. Those of you who are joining us. So I am Prandara Prim. I am a shamanic Tantra healer. I lived 15 years in Brazil studying as a medicine woman. I lived for 2 years in a Tantra commune. And I have been working with Tantra shamanism for about 20 years now. Welcome. And so all of us met at Jay's at Honors Yoga for the Kundalini healing. So a lot of you know that follow me that I've been working with Tantra, but when I came to the States and I saw Jay's in Atlanta, I'm in Atlanta, I'm like, I got to do this course. Let's add on, because I'm also a forever student and I love learning. So in that, I was blessed to meet some amazing souls, amazing healers, and I am excited to talk about what Kundalini is, because so many people don't know what Kundalini is. And I was one of them in the beginning, like maybe like 25 years ago. I remember doing a belly dance course, and that teacher had Kundalini yoga. And I researched Kundalini yoga and I saw all of these things. It's like, you could go crazy working Kundalini. And I was scared. I was like, I'm not doing this. Let me just continue doing my belly dancing. And then later, just being on my journey, Tantra, Kundalini kept coming up. And so I'm like, okay, it can't be that bad because it's coming to me. So this is something that I need to do and I need to work with, right? And so I am so happy that I did that. And if you guys are new to my channel, go ahead and give me a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you can know when my upcoming lives are coming. So first question, I'm going to just throw out some questions we could all answer. Whoever wants to go first can go first. What is Kundalini? And so we could all kind of talk about that in your words. What's Kundalini? Don't all jump at once.
Me? I should
Go, Jay. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead, Jay.
Okay.
Not Jay being shy. Not Jay being shy. Come on now.
No, I just wanted to leave space for whoever wanted to talk. I don't want to take up space. But fine. Okay. So Kundalini is a lot of things, right? So Kundalini can be referenced to like as a literal goddess. Kundalini also can be referenced to the energy in your body. Kundalini is also cosmic, right? So Kundalini is a cosmic force that manifests itself through us. It's in the words of what they call Shakti, right? So we have Shakti, Mahashakti, meaning the energy of the entire universe, and the Kundalini Shakti, meaning the energy that is inside of us, right? And that energy is an evolutionary energy, ultimately, that both lives in the root in various ways, can be stimulated, and when it's activated, it naturally goes into the sacral. And then once the proper disciplines are created, it starts to spiral upwards and stabilize itself, purifying the lower chakras, activating the higher chakras, and guiding a person toward a more enlightened and heart-space existence, right? And so it's a very beautiful path. Can be challenging, very intense, full of bliss, joy, laughter. A lot of what Osho is talking about is, a lot of people be on the meditation side, but with the Kundalini, it really brings out the variations of nature. It's sort of like the feminine aspect of it, like a feminine fire. And so even in energy, when you see how women are naturally drawn to working with Kundalini energy, and they're more open to it in general, right? But Kundalini is something that definitely is for everybody. And it definitely can help people to evolve faster than most standard traditions. With that said, it does come with some risk. As you spoke about, primal, Kundalini can make you go crazy and all that stuff. Kundalini can override people's systems. It can, especially if you use different hallucinogens and stuff like that, it can get you into a little bit of trouble if you don't know what you're doing, as well as there's certain ways you need to understand grounding Right, so I would not recommend going hard with Kundalini based off of YouTube University or some shit like that. Get with somebody that know what they're doing, that can help guide you. Get with a community of people and walk the path. It's an amazing path. I love it. I'm here doing it. I'm excited to show up every day.
And that's important that you said that, right? Because that's the thing. Like, you know, like when I started reading, you know, you hear these crazy, these stories, these scary stories. And so that's why I say all the time too, make sure you have a good teacher, right? Make sure you're working with someone and you're not trying to, like you said, like going on YouTube, let me do this so I can raise my Kundalini. You have to have a guide. And that's really important. And that's the thing for me, living in a commune and, you know, becoming a certified Tantra therapist. It was like, if I would have did this on my own, I don't know what would have happened, but every day I was doing practices. I was doing the Tantra yoga. I was doing tantric meditation. And that was the biggest thing that really helped me for me to get used to that energy, you know? And so that's the important thing, like making sure you're with someone who can watch and guide you.
I know me personally, my introduction to Kundalini was actually through Tantra, and I learned through Jay. And I feel like that was a beautiful introduction because, I mean, it's Tantra. Come on. But for the most part, I feel like I was able to prepare my body to be able to experience Kundalini. And to be honest, because I am the baby among this panel right now, I am the baby when it comes to work. I will say that for the most part, it's something that is hard for me to explain. It's something that you have to experience. And I think that it is important to find teachers, because when I first started looking up Kundalini and Tantra, everything was like whitewashed. It looks very like satanic almost at some point, but it was based upon my lack of understanding too. So I'm honored to be able to find like teachers like you, teachers like Jay, even Elicia, I've been learning under you as well. So I think it is important to, like, you know, use discernment as well. And like this is spiritual community, and you know, race doesn't always like trump, but at the same time, it's good to have representatives like you all in this community.
She says baby of this group. So last Saturday I did a cacao ceremony, and then afterwards we did a hape ceremony. Homegirl was no baby. She was there doing that Kundalini energy healing. Every time I did a hape, she was right behind somebody, you know, clearing energy. And then I'd go to the next person giving hape, and I'm looking over at her, and this other person's like, ah! she doing some stuff.
Your gift is your gift. It doesn't matter how long you are working with it, as long as you're answering the call and you're doing the work. That's all that matters.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Right. So this person says starting with philosophy helps. It does, and it's good to read. Like, I'm an avid reader, and like reading stuff and reading about information, and then finding a teacher, actually doing, because just reading is not enough, right? Like, but that is a good start. Like, a lot of times when people ask me, you know, how do I start? I'll recommend books, you know. And so then you got to get into the practice, because like Bella said, you have to experience it. You have to experience it.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, I'm a newbie as well. So in this journey, I've been kind of, you know, I've been learning it all and taking it in, and, you know, learning from Jay and you all, and still studying other pieces of information. I think one of the biggest things about it is there's really no one path to Kundalini. I think you can pull from so many different references, reputable references, and you know, kind of just form and craft your own practice. I think sometimes in our westernized society, we're so used to the school university model that if we don't see it a certain way, we don't think it's legit. And so you know, going through this process in any kind of energy healing modality, it's really about your intention and what you put in it yourself. I mean, because you can only read but so many books and do but so many training courses until you actually put the effort in, the intention in, the practice in, and the consistency. You really want to experience, and it won't be able to understand what it really is for you, and understand that your path is your path. What somebody else may go through and experience is their path, and it's not for you or I to say, hey, that's wrong or right. If it works for them, it works for them. So it's an ever-growing modality and ever learning. I know I'm gonna be a student for life in this section. So
yeah, you have to always be a student. Like they say, there's a saying that the teacher learns twice, right? And so as teachers and healers, we should always be in that space of wanting to. I feel like I'm this forever student. For me, I was introduced to Kundalini because it was something that was taboo, and I've always been the one when someone's like, "Don't do that." That's the exact thing that I'm going to go do, and so it drives my mother crazy, but it's okay. Like, well, why not? And if you can't explain to me why I can't do it, well, I'm gonna go figure it out and then make a decision for myself if that's something that resonates with my spirit or not. And so for me, that's what it was. I was like, well, I'm gonna go figure out what Kundalini is. I'm gonna go unlock my Kundalini based on, all of these taboo things. And to points that were raised earlier about things being westernized and whitewashed, there's like this gatekeeping. And so I was like reading books and I was like, okay, that works. And then I had this experience and was like, oh, I like that. That feels good. Don't really know how to, kind of cultivate it, what I should be using it for, how it can be used in various ways. It was just this physical sensation that I had that I enjoyed, but then I needed to learn more. And so like everyone else on here, Jay is my teacher and like spiritual teacher and guide. And I'm like so grateful for him. So that is I got into that Kundalini journey.
Thank you.
Ashe. And so those of you who are on, I would love for you to ask any questions. You have a panel here, people, ask questions so that we can.
Somebody's asking about.
Oh yeah, somebody did. Meridian Pathways asked this question: can Reiki assist in raising Kundalini? If I've been attuned to level 2, is it likely my granthees are open? Thank you. I would speak to this, but I'm not a practitioner of Reiki, and so I feel like some of y'all in here are. So y'all maybe could speak to this more directly. I can give my thoughts on it, but I'd rather somebody that is a Reiki attuned person speak to this.
So can I say something? It's so interesting because Reiki was the first path before even doing Tantra. And so interesting, when I became a Reiki master, the meditation that my teacher taught me was the microcosmic orbital breathing. She didn't call it that, but it was that breathing.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I didn't know that had anything to do with Tantra. And so I don't know. Well, you're not a Reiki master yet, so I don't know if you got that. No. So I don't know if they only do that at the master level, right? Is anybody else a Reiki master?
I'm just level 2.
No, I'm not a master, just level 2.
Master at that orbit, though.
Okay. So yeah, so on the Reiki level 3.
Sorry. I'm taking
okay. Yeah. So in Reiki level 3, they actually when they're attuning you to level 3 master level, they're using the same meditation that we do in Tantra. And so I didn't know that. Once I learned Tantra, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I had already learned this in Reiki. So if you've been attuned to Reiki and you're doing Reiki, in my opinion, that can assist you in raising Kundalini, especially if you do the master's level, because you're already doing a Kundalini, a tantric meditation. You're already learning that, right? And so in Tantra also says all things are connected. And so everything is connected. So it's all about your intention, what you're setting. But I still say, if you're trying to have your Kundalini rise, please see someone who specializes in that work with Tantra. And don't just, work with the Reiki energy for that, if that is your intention.
Yeah, I feel like Reiki is a good support tool for like the clearing work to help Kundalini rise. Because I work closely with Kundalini energy and I've worked with Reiki energy, the two energies, the way they interface with your system are very different. So I don't think that Reiki could trigger an activation, but I do think it could be a good tool to utilize as a support for, the purification that happens once Kundalini has been activated.
I started off learning about the energy world through getting attuned in 1 and 2 Reiki. And so to me, I kind of like to compare it to different elements. To me,
Yes.
Reiki is more like water.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit more subtle than Kundalini. Kundalini is more like fiery, electrical. So even within the practices, I might mix a little bit other modalities when I'm working on people based upon like the energies that I'm sitting within them. But ultimately, I think all paths do lead to enlightenment.
Mhm.
It's just one might be more subtle and one might be like fiery, because Reiki for me personally has been very like subtle. Kundalini, I'm crying every other day. I'm dry heaving. It's a lot of stuff that goes down with Kundalini if you allow it to move through you. But I think again, the Reiki was good for my overall like enlightenment when it comes to just opening myself up. But Kundalini has been like purifying for me.
Yeah.
Reiki's a good
I don't agree
balance.
with that. Like Reiki overall is more relaxing, because like I would receive Reiki and I would go to sleep all the time.
Absolutely.
Right?
I got this experience.
Yeah.
I got a Reiki session from a Tibetan monk, and it knocked me straight into the dream world. I was in 3 levels into the dream world, but it's not like Kundalini. Even still,
It's not.
with him, who's like a full-time monk, it was not like Kundalini. It's just a different intention, and it takes you to where you need to go in reference to that energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still feel like it can assist in it. Like that's not the goal of it.
Right.
But
Oh, yeah.
but in terms of assisting, and that's why I say also, like, if that's your intention of raising it, go to someone who does Tantra or Kundalini, right?
Yeah.
But definitely as you move higher up in Reiki and you're getting these attunements, that one meditation is similar. So
I mean, they have different types of. So there's Kundalini Reiki. You get what I'm saying? Like they have different versions of Reiki too. You know what I'm saying? So I've never done Kundalini Reiki, but I have experienced the energy of it before, and it does feel more fiery.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
it is. So I'm also a master in Kundalini Reiki. I'm a master in Kundalini Reiki, shamanic Maheo Reiki, and Sekim Sekim Reiki, which is the Egyptian. I'm a forever student. I'm taking all these classes. But the crazy thing is I haven't been working so much with those different, ones. I guess I gotta mix stuff in together or whatever. I don't know.
So I like to piggyback on what Bella said. I think they relate to the elements. Like you said, Kundalini is fire, Reiki is water. I would say breath work and maybe Tai Chi is air, and maybe sound healing may be earth energy. And when you master all of them, then you level up to being an avatar or some higher ascended being of some sort. So I think they're all interrelated. They all help. I don't think it wouldn't hurt, but definitely explore it and see what you can find out. Because like I said, it can only help. And it's just another different form of energy work.
Yeah. I really think
it's another tool in your belt.
I really think Reiki would be a good tool to utilize, like once you're working with like the upper chakras, because the initial process of like Kundalini when it's working in the lower chakras is very destabilizing, whereas I feel like Reiki is very balancing. So it's like with Kundalini, kind of like why Bella's like, I'm crying every single day. You're falling apart essentially to be brought back together, And so I feel like once you get to the process of like activating the upper chakras, kind of like Jay was talking about, because you're purifying the lower chakras, activating the upper chakras, it's like that. I feel like Reiki is more in alignment with that energy. It's more subtle. It's more balancing, and it's also like Reiki, I like to think about it directionally too. So like when you're working with Kundalini, it's coming from the root up versus Reiki is coming from the crown down. So I feel like just the way that the energies are set up to flow into the system, Reiki would be better for, helping you to activate and like balance your upper chakra energy.
So what do y'all think for someone?
It's always Reiki session for me has always felt like a warm hug. I come out of that feeling supported and like this, right? And coming out of a Kundalini energy session, I can be hot, grounded, very hot. Like I got work to do over here, but
So we have another question, but I want to ask something first before we go to Dominique's question, and I love it. But so what do y'all think is good to start first for someone who's new and hasn't done Reiki, meditation, Kundalini, like nothing? What do y'all think would be a good first step for someone who's like, okay, I want to get into the spiritual realm. I want to get into this healing work for themselves, to work on themselves. What do you think is like a good entry point?
Breath work.
Breath work.
Start with breath work. I think that's the easiest. I mean, not say easiest. That's the most intense personal thing that you can do with yourself, because you don't really need a whole bunch of people. You can get a YouTube video and just.
Oops, I think froze.
Yeah, we only heard a piece of what you were saying, brother. You said something about a YouTube video.
Go. Yeah, I was saying, okay, so I was saying you can start breath work by just go to YouTube, get a YouTube video and start doing breath work every day. And you will feel that energy almost within the 2 or 3 days of you starting it. If you stay consistent with it, breath work will be probably the best place to start, because you will notice a change in the way you feel, you think, you move, just everything will be different if you start with breath work.
Yes. Okay.
That's just my
Tina, you were gonna say that too?
Yeah. Starting with the intention of why is important. Knowing why you want to journey down this path is important. Because again, people hear, Tantra and automatically think one thing versus another. But so that kind of is, for me, the first thing. I agree with breath work. It's simple in concept, not easy in the doingness of it, right? And so, but I think it's a beautiful way for you to start to tap in and tune into what's happening in your body just by focusing on the breath. As a yoga teacher, when we talk about pranayama, it's like your life force energy. So it's understanding that there are various ways, a lot of different types of breath work practices that someone could go with. But then once you have a practice and you're disciplined with that, then you can venture into other things.
Yeah, I think the why is important too. I feel like also understanding not just the why, but like what your intention is going into it. Like, do you want to unlock your gifts? Do you want to awaken your Kundalini? Like that would then I would be able to give a more clear, like step one based on whatever it is that you want to do. But just generally, I always recommend yoga and meditation practice. Yoga, meditation, and breath work. Those three, that trinity right there is like the basis for all spiritual practices, regardless of what path you decide to take, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say what she said, so I don't really comment to
What she said last night.
What you say?
I don't know.
So no, I'm
That's what she said last night. Never mind, it's a crazy joke.
No.
You might need older Elicia to understand that joke.
Me too.
She understood it.
You know what people be like. Never mind. Anyway.
So,
Go ahead.
So I do think that depending on how serious you are, I would recommend a person to start with one of those three. But like for people who are very casual, I would recommend them to start with yoga, actually, right? Because yoga is going to prepare the body in such a way that sometimes, depending on the breath work you do, it can create activations you're not ready for that your body can't necessarily hold. But if you're a serious student, I would say daily meditation is the way to start, right? Because ultimately, that's all roads lead to meditation in the end, right? Whether they be Kundalini related or anything else. But in both breath work is included in both yoga and meditation. As you know, when we get to a lot of these advanced meditation, it's breath work. Like, you get what I'm saying? I mean, it's breath work that produces the deepest levels of meditation. So they are in many ways one and the same. You get what I'm saying? But any of those can be fine as long as you understand that, especially dealing with Kundalini, you can activate yourself in such a way that one channel is activated and the other one is not. And you need to know the tools for grounding and the tools for balance, right? Otherwise, you can get yourself into some trouble with the electricity part of it. Yeah,
I definitely agree with that. Like, and I say definitely what's your why, right? And for me, I started with meditation and it was my why, right? As a psychotherapist, I was seeing other psychotherapists. I was seeing a therapist for myself, right? But I was working in that field, but I had so much anxiety. So for me, I was like, okay, I need to start meditating. But I didn't know how, right? So I started going to Buddhist Center, way back like almost 30 years ago. I started going to Buddhist Center, doing meditations. I was going to Tibetan Buddhist Center back in Maryland, Bodhi Path in Rockville, Maryland. Jeremy, he looks like he's frozen again. There you go. Now you look alive. Maybe
he was just meditating.
Meditative state.
Yeah, they kind of drifted off.
Yeah. So in Maryland, like in Rockville, there was a place on Bodhi Path. I started going there and I started learning about meditation. And that was my entryway. And that was a big thing that helped me to kind of get centered more. And so for me, I felt like that was for me and wanting with my anxiety, I felt like that was a good entry point. Yoga is still hard for me because I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with me in yoga. Not be wanting to do it. But
these two right here can get it straight now.
So as a yoga, I think it's important when we say yoga, right? Because yoga as what people see, at least in the West, again, it's been gatekept, it's been whitewashed, it's been westernized. And yoga in its purest practice is a breathing practice first. And so it's important that if you start with yoga, like you want to start with a teacher that is teaching from like the 8 limbs of yoga. So someone said hatha yoga. So like really can break down that yoga is a journey of the self to the self through the self. It is about connecting with you, right?
And I think that was my difficulty with the yoga. Because it was my difficult to connect with me, right? Like you on the nose.
You were in a power flow class. I guarantee you. And it's one breath in, one breath out, and you don't understand. You're just moving, right? And it's just a physical practice. If you don't have a teacher that can help you connect the physical with what you are experiencing emotionally and spiritually, then it's nothing but a physical practice.
Right. And that is so
just
true.
A gym membership.
Yes, that's so true. And that's the thing. When I lived in a Tantra commune, we started every morning with the Tantra yoga we were doing, and we would talk about it. So for me, once I got into the Tantra and doing the Tantra yoga on the commune, I felt differently about it. And that's interesting you said that, because now coming back, I started being okay with doing yin yoga.
I love it.
Maybe because I'm relaxing into it, I'm breathing, and I'm connecting to myself and what I'm feeling. So but for me, I needed to start the meditation, right? Like that was to kind of help me. And probably that's why it helped me, because I was at a center and we would talk and we would do things and I had a teacher, And so I think for me, it's hard to kind of do stuff self on my own, like I need a teacher guiding. And ultimately we are our own teachers, but we are our own teachers and our own healers. But having that person explain things and help me be like, okay, maybe that's why you're going through this, or asking me the questions to figure out why I'm feeling certain things, why there's a resistance, So anyone else want to answer that? Like what first for them, what they think is a good entry point?
Okay, now what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, as teachers, we just that's what we do. We create the container and then let the work happen, right? So a student comes into a class, I'm just creating a safe space for them to be able to have what experiences they have. And we have, clients, when we're doing energy work on the table, we're just creating the safe space with parameters so that there's no harm that comes to you while you are navigating your path and doing the work. So like you're your own architect of your own healing. We're just there to help facilitate the process. So that's how I look at that. I'm complete.
I guess my suggestion would be, especially for the Black girls like me who kind of grew up in the church and understood what laying hands was, start with Reiki, because that's the most like similar thing I would say, that kind of just opened up a lot of us towards energy healing. Again, because if you go to church and you see someone laying hands on someone, one person falls out, one person speaking tongue, one person running around the whole church. That's the same thing with in my opinion, like Kundalini, it moves through you in different ways and in different realms. So I think, again, we have to prepare our nervous system for Kundalini, but I think Reiki is a good introduction towards like energy healing.
Yeah, I think it's a good gateway. Good gateway. Yeah. All right, so we got this question. And those of you who are new to my channel, please go ahead and follow, subscribe, hit that notification bell as well. All right. So let's get that question from Dominique. And
her name is
Andrea.
Her name is Andrea. She's one of my students.
Oh, okay, so it's not Dominique?
No.
Okay, Andrea. But I like Dominique too.
Y'all are hilarious.
Andrea says, welcome, Andrea. What are you all's favorite practices to keep your body fortified to experience Kundalini fully? I love that question.
Can I go first? I love crying. Crying is just like, I've been so numb for so long to where this has been the greatest release for me to get back into my body is crying when in Tantra. Again, come to a shaman's vibe party, practice some cacao ceremonies with Prim, but there's just so much when it comes to Tantra to where it's like you are really embodying Kundalini through Tantra.
Let me show that. Okay.
I don't know if this
go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if this is to experience Kundalini, but I'm heavy into sound healing. So that's my whole world of keeping my mind, body, and spirit fortified is I do a lot of sound healing stuff here at home and while I'm at work and while I'm moving around. So crystal bowls, Tibetan bowls, all the tools that you can use for sound healing.
Yes. Oh, Andrea Dominique. Okay, that's her middle name. So Dominique is also like a French name, so that's why I love it. I'm gonna call you Andrea Dominique. So for me, and I'd love to hear what Jay says too. So for me, I feel like when we talk about Tantra and Kundalini, it's a lifestyle, right? So many people think I want to take this class and I want to learn, I want to become a Tantrika or I want to learn Kundalini energy, but it's a lifestyle. You don't just take the class and you're done. So there's a daily practice. And so in my house, I actually have a little board that reminds me, like I have it, like do this, daily, because then I might forget. I don't know, even though it's ingrained, because I'll be doing so much. Y'all know I'll be doing 50 million things. So I got to see this stuff. But for me, it's like I have my yoni steam here. I'm doing my yoni steam. I do my pranayamas, alternate nostril breathing. I do fire breaths. And so for me, it's the breath work, like Jeremy said earlier, right? Like, so every day I'm doing breath work. When I remember, I do my breast massage from the Taoist technique, right? Deer exercise, different things. And so just to keep that energy moving. So that's what I feel like. I think there's no right or wrong type of practice. And it's just everybody finding what works for them. I still struggle. And I think that this is a great thing that I learned from Jay's course, from the Kundalini healing, to do the magic room. But I haven't been doing that. Like, I feel like that is a great practice to do. And it's funny, Jay, actually, I'm taking this other course right now. It's to become a two-headed doctor from Haitian traditional folkloric medicine. And we're working with herbalism. And this teacher also said to do a magic room, but she called it differently. But like going into your room, she used a different name, but it's basically the same thing. Going into that room, having that space, yes, similar concept. And I was like, yes, this is important to do right? To have that place where we can go in every day and do our healing work. And even when we're working with other people, using that as a way of, just making it stronger. So definitely important, and just finding what works for you,
Yeah, for sure. Did you want to speak to this issue?
Yeah.
Proud Haitian hair, sock passe. Sorry.
Hey. I think this is a
nice.
pretty complex question in a way because of the word
Mhm.
fortified. Like that can be interpreted in a number of ways. So I'm going to say that there are certain practices that are important for activation, and then certain practices of restraint. So because you all spoke to some of the practices of activation, let me just start by saying the practices of restraint that are important is stuff like celibacy, silence, fasting. Even we do dark room. These things that take away the material world or take away the stimulation from your senses, so that you can ground yourself in your consciousness, right? And I think that that is one way to stabilize Kundalini, because it can be doing the most, but if you turn that energy inward, there's space for it to expand, rather than having it wrestle around your body and your emotional self and all of that stuff that a lot of times we see on the table. You get what I'm saying? Now, of course, there are a lot of practices. I mean, my whole class is made up of just hundreds of practices. So I don't really know where to begin in saying like activating Kundalini. I mean, there's a specialized type of breath work, from spinal breathing, fire breathing. There's 100 different breath work techniques that we can get into. And even there's Kundalini yoga based yoga, like, okay, this yoga is specific for activating Kundalini, as well as there is the practice of Tantra, right? Like, how do you involve the Kundalini energy in the sexual practice? As well as there is Kundalini based meditation. So how do you, run that energy up the spine or guide that energy to the third eye and the crown as you're doing your work? I think it's an entire world. A lot of what I do with Anashoka is factoring Kundalini in one way or another to every class. It was like the patron deity of the whole, institution. So Kundalini finds its way in one way or another. So I'm not sure if that's more than what she was looking for, but that's kind of the gist of how I think about it.
And can I add also, your diet makes a difference, right? Like if you're doing all of this work and you're eating all kinds of crap, drinking alcohol all the time, your body, you can't be fortified for this, right? So it's important to be conscious of what you're putting into your body, making sure you're drinking water. I fast. I do water fasting. And I know in your dark room, you fast too in the dark room, right? I haven't done it yet, but
We don't require people to fast, but people often do fast.
you
But
don't.
in general, we serve light food, so you're not really eating like meat as much as you're eating something light to make sure that you're not starving. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. And so, so being conscious of what you're putting in your body. I'm not one to say you have to be a vegetarian or whatever, but be aware of what you're eating. If you feel like you need to eat meat, make sure you're choosing meat that's prepared in a certain way. Buy the halal meat or whatever, because there's people who follow their blood type, and for certain blood types, they say you have to eat meat. I'm an A positive, A plus, which means I have to be vegetarian. Meat doesn't go well with my body. So for me, doing those things and being aware and just noticing when I eat a certain thing, how does my body feel? Because if your body is heavy, if it's sluggish, then the Kundalini, any energy can't flow through you like it should, right? And so cleansing yourself as well, using, I think you even talked about this, Jay, like just, just stones and precious crystals, wearing that, so these are also important practices that's going to help you to experience Kundalini, whether you're receiving it or trying to open that up within you.
Yeah, like I add, and y'all know who I am now. If the Kundalini get too active, go ahead and eat yourself a big pizza or something. You get what I'm saying? And shut it down. Then you have to know how to ground. Is the point I'm making, right? Sometimes people will think like, oh, my Kundalini is active. Let me just fast and make it better. And Kundalini is not this way. You fast, it's going to make it worse. You know what I'm saying? You actually need to go in the opposite direction and to some extent, like clog your system up a little bit so that it slows down until your system can regulate itself, right? So those are the things that, you could get yourself in trouble with if you try to learn Kundalini on your own, type of thing.
Right. And that's important, right? I'm glad you said that, because like I remember I went out. I do qigong at Decatur Healing Arts, and normally, and I go out to lunch every time with the same other student who's in that class. And we went out, and I got meat, and she was like, "What are you doing?" Because I haven't seen you eat meat. I was like, "I need it." Like I felt like after that class, I was like, "I need to get grounded, and I need to eat meat." And she was like, you got rare steak, rare flank. It was fun. We went to fun. And she was like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, because I know my body, right? Like I know that this is what I need." And so, it's listening and feeling what you need. So, because like you said, like, there's some people who are just fasting. I'm gonna do water. I'm gonna just drink water for the next 3 days, but that may not be what your body needs, right? So knowing.
For sure.
So, a funny thing happened to me. I don't want to give any spoilers away to anyone that hasn't seen it yet, but I had a whole Kundalini activation watching Sinners. And
First time here now.
yeah, I haven't been able to text you yet because I was like, I gotta text Jay. But so a couple years ago, I had an experience in New Orleans. My family is Black Choctaw. We're Choctaw. We're Black Irish, Haitian, Jamaican ancestry. So
he was all throughout the
Right.
Yeah, Sinners resonated with me in a whole lot of ways, but I had this activation experience after having sex with someone where I was just in a ball, like, just don't touch me, leave me alone. And I was having my little this like extended orgasm. But during that experience, I'm like crying. I hear this tribal music. I see my like ancestral mothers dancing around this fire. Like this was 2 years ago. So now I'm sitting in Sinners, and y'all know the scene I'm talking about. If you've seen it, if you haven't, I'm not gonna talk about it. But I'm like, my body just starts doing this in the movie, because you need to see it at IMAX, by the way, if you haven't seen it. You gotta see it, because the music is left and right and forward.
Yeah.
And so I'm like literally seeing myself in the middle of this scene, right? And as all of this is happening, I just feel my body doing this, and I start crying. And I was like, oh, damn it, I'm in the movie theater. Like, I'm all right. Okay. And I quickly had to ground. I had some granola with me, but I was just like throwing granola in. Like, I cannot have this full on, like, I'm on a table experience in the movie. But that literally happened to me 3 days ago. So, so yeah, food was a big part of, is a big way to ground when I'm having like an experience. So I need to come out of this quickly. I have to bring my awareness back into my body. So,
yeah, I think for me, honestly, it's just been practice, like being consistently in energy. Between that and like meditation, it allows me to, like, when I'm in those experiences, be able to be more in control of how high the energy can rev up and rev down. So like I will, like when I am in Kundalini experiences, I allow myself to go as fully into it as I possibly can. And then absolutely, because it's like if we going big or we going home. We're going all the way fully and completely, and then we're gonna come back all the way fully and completely. We ain't dipping a toe, right? So like I will be in this experience, and I'll allow myself to have as intensive experiences. And it's super interesting that you brought up Sinners, because I genuinely feel like that scene has impacted like my ceremonies. Like it feels like that now. Like I can feel the ancestors dancing around with us and stuff like that. So it's like super dope. But I said that to say, like, I have because a lot of times I'm in retreat space, I have to be able to go up high and quickly bring myself back together, right? And so that has taken practice, but I also think meditation has helped intensely. Meditation helps me with, just managing and maintaining my daily vibration. Meditation helps with my concentration. Meditation helps with my self-control as far as like my impulses. Meditation helps with, my clarity, with my sensitivity, with my clairvoyance, my clairaudience, all these different aspects of the self. I feel like meditation has really, really helped me with. And because like in the beginning of my process, like I was super in on the energy side of things. And within the last like 6 months or so, I have really taken a lot of time to focus in on that meditative side. And I've noticed how it allows me to go farther and expand out more in those experiences and bring myself back quicker and easier.
Wait, so what was that moment in the AMC recliner? Sorry. Was it shaking too?
That's me. I was responding.
Oh, you were responding. Okay.
I was just responding.
Is that somebody else who wrote
that? No.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was tapped in. I was definitely tapped in. It was just like I couldn't stop. It was just here, and tribal music, like that's for sure. But yeah, I just that scene just it did something to me. It hit me. I was processing that for hours.
You know that fire opened up the roof. It's like opened up the crown. You see how they. I don't want to tell too much, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, if you ain't seen it at this point, what are you doing?
Stop what you're doing right now. Well,
right.
Jeremy, did you see it? Jeremy, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it. I plan to go see it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Look, I see.
Oh, are you?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it the second time. I gotta see it the second time in IMAX as well.
Yeah, it's powerful. Very powerful.
It is.
Shout out to the brothers Ryan Coogan, the whole staff. It was awesome.
Yeah. So can y'all share a moment? Share a moment when you feel like the energy might have been way too much for you, like, and you're like, oh my God, like this is a lot. Maybe that might have scared you. And then like, what did you do? It's a therapy, right?
I got one. Okay. I got one. So
because she got to laugh. Go ahead, Keita.
I was again, and it was in with the sexual experience, but we were in a hotel and it had like that old cheap clock radio that you got to turn the dial, right, with the frequency. And it was a wild moment. I mean, it was a great moment. But in the moment, I heard like the radio was off, but there was like that zzz, like that was going. And I was like, what's happening here? And then I just felt like I was no longer in my body. I felt like my eyes rolled to the crown of my head, and then I was somewhere, I don't know where I was, but I was quickly like, I want to come back. This might be too much for me to handle. And it came out of that, and I slept for like hours because I was just like, and the person I was with, he's like, I was a little scared because I didn't know how to bring you back into the moment. I was like, next time, grab my ankles. Grab my ankles and say, focus on your feet.
Safe
like,
word.
Like, if you ever can't bring me back into it, just grab my ankles, say, focus on your feet, and it'll bring you back into that. But I mean, even he was scared. Like it was like he didn't know how. He's like, oh, you weren't stopping. And I was just going. It was.
Oh my God.
So
you just made me think of like one for me. And it's actually interesting because this was in the Tantra commune and I was receiving a tantric massage and we're all practicing, right? Because we're learning. So there's like tons of people in this room and get a tantric massage and I'm naked. We're, the ones receiving, you're naked, you're getting a tantric massage. This is specifically a yoni massage. And literally like I'm like this energy was going up and I got like my head just started pounding like a headache. And as he was giving me the massage, I'm moving back and back and back and I'm yelling and I'm screaming. And it was just like a lot. And everybody's like turning, they're looking at me like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh my God, this is like the energy was just so scary because I think that was the first time I experienced so much energy like that. And I was like, what the hell is happening? And I'm like yelling and screaming. They're probably thinking I'm like possessed or whatever. And I'm like, and so I'm like, and they're like, breathe. And he's like, the guy's like pulling me back. like pulling me back this way because I'm about to hit somebody else or hit the wall. And it's just like, I'm like, like breathing. But it did have me think twice. I'm like, do I want to keep doing this? Like, oh.
That's
So when you asked me, Renee, at the weekend in Atlanta, did I want to receive that whole experience on the table? I don't know how long I was there, but that had to be the most, that is the most energetic experience I've ever experienced in my life. Like I literally could not stop doing anything. Like I felt like I didn't have any control of my body.
Why did you never give me some of that?
You live right here.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, she
was
started.
a bunch of us though.
Yeah, she started it, but
She started with me, and then people
Right.
started coming in.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Like 10 of us.
Yeah.
It felt like I literally could not control anything, and we had to be there. I had to be laying there for at least 30 to 45 minutes, if not longer.
Yeah.
Because
I think longer.
it just felt like time was not even existing. I felt my physical body, but I just could not stop crying. I couldn't stop the energy. I mean, my body was literally on fire with energy. So that in and of itself. And then when we did the cacao ceremony here in DC, that kind of mirrored it just a tad bit. Like I felt some of that energy when we were doing the tantric breath work and all that. I felt it a little bit then, but nothing compared to what we had for our weekend in Atlanta.
Right.
For our class. And yeah.
So that was, I went to DC and I led a cacao ceremony and the tantric rebirthing. And then the next one, I think we did another one. And I was like,
we did another one.
And he did the sound healing. So it was good. It was good. DC got to come back.
Hey.
You got to come with us, Maryland.
I'll be there. Let me know.
That's funny.
A road trip.
DMV, come on. Who's in the DMV? Y'all want us there? We're gonna come. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Somebody said they were in Maryland, or maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah, somebody did say they were in Maryland, Rockville or something.
Yeah. That's what happened.
Hey, Rockville, JW. Was that whoever that is? I don't know. Hey, JW. Yes. So, anyone else want to share?
Well, I'll say, I don't know. I wouldn't say it was something that was scary. Like I don't feel like so far I've experienced anything with Kundalini that made me afraid. But this past weekend, we had the reunion retreat. And of course, we did Love Box. And so I'm in the middle getting Love Boxed on. And Jay is like, allow the divine to come in and heal your heart. And then the next thing I know, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, falling all out on the person behind me. And I'm just crying. But like a screaming, like just over and over again. And then I'm like laid all out on the ground. And everybody just kind of like waiting for me to get back up. And I'm just like, I can't come back yet. Spirit's not done with me. I have some things that I need to focus on, but that I've had like the Love Box, I've had like 2 or 3 experiences like that. That's so intense. It's like, oh my God, like felt like my heart is about to explode, like craziness.
I would say my experience, or it was really like a breakthrough. Well, my first like breakthrough with Kundalini would be during my Tantra weekend. And we were doing the Trinity. Caitlin was in the middle. Celeste was on one side. I was on the bottom. And so Caitlin was projecting into the both of us. And at one point, I just remember like I was just feeling like so powerful through my own orgasm to where it was just like the peak of my orgasm. I felt like my mother came in. It was just like, how dare you be so powerful? So I sunk into my root chakra. Celeste, like she left the ethers. Like y'all had to carry her out that day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we just had like polar opposite experiences, but I feel like it was me like having that mother wound type of experience through my own orgasm to where I'm like, okay, this was weird because I'm having a root chakra experience. I'm seeing her like having to be carried out, but I saw like the polarity one, and then 2, just seeing just like that circuit and feeling that circuit, I never felt more powerful than that very moment of the Trinity. So I was like, okay, I gotta keep this up. Like, because again, it's one thing to sit in the classes for 3 months long and like theorize it, but to practice the practice is a whole different experience.
Yeah.
Yes. So on that, so good question. Oh wait, Eso need to be here to answer that question. Remember that, Jay? Eso busted out into a rap. So how
That's
has
funny. I just caught what you said. Shout out to Esther. That's funny.
yes, Eso. Jeremy, you were there. Remember the Eso? She was like,
Yes.
Yes. She was worried.
Oh,
SO. Like,
oh man, that was powerful.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
And David, Georgia is lit. You need to make your way out here.
Yeah.
But we're gonna come to Maryland too. I'm coming back.
Oh boy, David.
I'm coming back. I can speak for myself. Y'all gonna come too? Let's do something out in Maryland, y'all.
Yeah, let me know.
So how do you feel? And if anybody else have any questions, go ahead and ask now. This is your time. Because this is gonna be my last question. So how has doing this energy work with Kundalini, how has it changed your life?
I mean, me personally, me and Bella, we was just talking about this. When all of this was, birthed. So like, after y'all left, we sat and really just kind of talked about how like we used to live very different lives before. Like I myself, like it's so hard for people to believe. Like I was a very hardcore party girl. Like I was in somebody's club Thursday through Sunday. Okay. Faithfully. Thursday and Sunday was a for sure. If I could find something to do on Friday and Saturday, I was there. I mean, just drinking, smoking, all of the things. Like I had no control of like my sexual energy. I was extremely impulsive, and I didn't really have any direction. I didn't really think about myself as like a person that could have purpose. Like it was just kind of like going with the motions. Like, okay, today is today. I didn't really think, okay, well, what can I do tomorrow to build on what happened today? It was just kind of like, whatever happens today is what happens today, and that's it. Mm-hmm. And it was like the way that, Spirit really spoke to me, everything changed. And then once I found the path of like spirituality, I was very curious about so many different things. And then I ended up finding like energy. Well, my first experience with energy was at a sacred sexuality retreat in the Trinity, actually. And so I had this huge energetic breakthrough. I'm like, my entire body is vibrating. I'm like, I can feel the vibration of everything around me. Like, and it seems like nothing happened. And I know so many people who are miserable in their lives. I know so many people who don't have peace, who don't have joy, etc. And I got up from that experience being like, I need to figure out how to give people this gift. And for me, like that changed everything about my life, because it's like now my life has a purpose. My life has a meaning. So I'm more careful to make decisions that are going to negatively impact my image or negatively impact my ability to be able to do my work. So I stopped smoking. I stopped drinking. I went plant-based. I took this journey and still continue to do so very seriously. I have been so consistent with my practices, with staying in class, with staying in the energy, with building communities or like community ties to people who are in similar spaces as me. And so literally the version of me that existed before I found energy work does not exist. Like it's been a complete 180 over and over and over and over again. And so, this work has been something that I will and continue to be forever grateful for, because it completely changed the trajectory of my life. I would have never thought I'd be an entrepreneur. I was like, I'm just working somebody's job, be in somebody's club to the day I die. And I was like, we're on overseas. We got boss moves to make, so yes. It's been a lot.
Yes, Ashe.
Anybody else want to chime?
Who's next?
I'll go next.
I need some of that damn shit.
There, shit. Come on. Does that mean you still in the club, David? From
Ain't nothing wrong being in the club sometime, but it can't be all the time.
Look, I still be in the club doing my salsa dancing.
Right? Yeah. So yeah.
Different now.
Yes.
No, so I guess for me, Kundalini has just deepened my personal journey inward. I mean, it's really just gotten me more hyper-focused on taking care of self first and doing everything that I can possible to deepen that relationship with my spirit and just, growing emotionally and physically and mentally. So it's just another tool to go deeper within myself. Of course, I've changed some of my lifestyle habits. I still have some other ones, but it's just been a personal journey for me. Just the inward journey has been amazing because I don't think, and what really sparked all this was when I went to Haiti a couple of years ago. So had I probably not, I don't know if I would be on this journey or not, but I'm here. But it's just been a personal journey ever since. Just really focusing on self.
Yes. Ashe. And I love that you're doing it. I feel like there needs to be more men doing the work. It's like it just needs to be more men doing the work.
There needs to be more divine masculine men doing the work. Because there's men out there, but their intentions, I feel like I've experienced early on a lot more like men who are warlocks and just using it for evil, basically.
Sure.
Spiritual fuckboys.
Yeah. Exactly. And so it's true. But I feel like, and it's true. And that's why I say all the time, David said they scared.
Yeah.
Might be
they are.
that. Yeah.
They are.
And I feel like when they really truly do the work, they will become divine masculine men, right? That's what makes them become the divine masculine men when they do the work. And so we need that out there. We really, really do. And so now there are some of them doing the work, but they're doing it so they could be predators, right? Preying on women and men, so that's why when you're coming to learn this stuff, vet your people. I honestly haven't really felt comfortable working with a man with Tantra and Kundalini energy, right? I trusted Jay, which is why he's here, and I felt comfortable. But there's a lot of men that do Tantra and Kundalini work. I'm like, I'm not taking that course. You got, but but in these classes, in my classes, in Jay, I've taken Kundalini, Birth of a Sage. It's mostly women. So we need men coming out here to do the work. And so I thank you, Shadow Healer, for doing your part, and stepping into that. And I think other men need to see men doing this work, to not be scared, like David said.
Not be scared. Yeah, for me,
I love you too. You're so beautiful, true goddess.
Shout out Shanice. What up? So let me speak to this question of how did Kundalini impact my life. First of all, this is an unanswerable question. Let me just say that. I've been on the path of Kundalini for 25 years, and I don't really fully remember what life is like before Kundalini. Like, it's vague to me now, First, I want to shout out my brother CJ, who's one of the people that inspired me on the path. He's in this chat right now. The person that's saying Clara Jackson, that's kind of talking alongside. He's one of the people that was with me in my initial initiation process that really inspired me to go hard on the Kundalini journey. So let me give him his love for sure. And then also my teacher, Baba Kamal, who really cultivated that divine power, divine fire, and passed it down. Right, and gave us kind of like an orientation. I'm giving this to you as a way to uplift yourself and uplift your community, not just for you, right? But it's a fire that's going to purify you but part of your path is figuring out how to share this with your people as an evolutionary tool. Right. So that was one thing that, like, I had a mission. All right, I'm gonna do this. Now, for me personally, I'm from the hood. You feel me? So the first thing Kundalini did was it gave my heart back to me. You know, I'm really a person that was on that I wish a nigga would type shit. You get what I'm saying? And say, you get what I'm saying? And sitting in doing heart meditation and Kundalini work for about 6 months, I reclaimed my joy and I reclaimed my vulnerability and my love for life. So that was the first thing. But then as the energy went on, I came to know mental peace and silence. And then eventually, as it kept going, I came to know that bliss and constant connection to the divine. And so I really consider Kundalini as one stage in an evolutionary process that there's like an infinite gap in a way. If you're deep in the Kundalini world and you're trying to explain to a person who doesn't know, they don't know what you mean. They can hear it, but they can't know it. But then on the other side, the crown opening is another side to it. So that's like the second, it's like the first and second leg of that thing. So when I went through the crown opening process, I feel like almost like, you know how the Christian be like, I done died twice type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in a whole different state. Like it's just hard for me to conceptualize life as I've walked so deep in this journey. And all I can do is give back for the blessings I've been given, right? Because there's so much divinity, so much beauty, so much joy, so much wisdom. My Bible often described this as the science of the soul, right? And I feel like I was passed down certain keys, and I do my best now to pass them down in such a way that's interesting and exciting and engaging for people, you know? Because you could just say, hey, do this, you know, and people will get bored with it, right? But having ways, whether it be burials or whether it be vibes parties or whether it be dark rooms, or just keeping it interesting, you know, so that people will keep coming back into it and really finding ways back to themselves.
Bella getting all the love here. She working that hat.
Thank you.
Yeah, working that hat.
That's funny.
So, you know, let me answer for my answer for that question. I'm from Brooklyn.
Hey,
I'm from Brooklyn.
I didn't know that. DJ all day.
You don't say more, right? So, you know, so me too. Like, I was raised to not deal with shit. Like, you know, I was no punk. I'm not letting people walk over me. And I'm still not. That New York will come out in a minute. Like, don't try me. But anyway, for me, a lot has changed. Like, in a sense, similar to you, Elicia. I wasn't so much of a big partier, but I was out there, right? I was out there looking for love in the wrong places, right? So I was out there. Like, I'd have sex with whoever, like not just like whoever, but I was out there having sex. Well, yeah, with whoever. Like, let me not like
whoever. Definitely whoever. Just one whoever, not two.
You know, but it was like, but even though, like, you know, I would do that, I would still feel like something's missing. And so doing this and connecting specifically through Tantra and working with that Kundalini, I found myself. And I learned that what was missing, I need to give to myself. And not somebody else can give that to me. You know, so I found self-love. And people think, oh, she worked with Tantra. She out there probably having sex with someone. I have way less sex now. Way less sex. And, you know, and honestly, I have multiple orgasms, not even having penetration, doing the breath work, doing eye gazing with someone, you know, it's so much more quality and better. So I feel a difference. And so for me, I always joke and say, damn, this messed me up because now I ain't having so much sex. Like, you know, can't go back.
It healed you up.
It healed me up. It healed me up. But, you know, I joke and say, dang, now I'm not getting it like I used to, but I'm getting it in a better way.
Yes.
The fullness of it. Yes, right.
Yeah. So, you know, so it has changed me a lot in that sense, you know. So
I say it shifted my perspective a
Mhm.
lot. I have this new mantra of like, God knows, well, God don't make
Exactly
mistakes.
that.
So he didn't start when he made me. And so there's no shame in how powerful, how I feel when I'm in this space. I don't have to play small. And even the dark parts of myself that I've hidden away for so long, like I can also like share it with y'all and have safe spaces to just really just be my whole self. And so that's where I feel like this has been monumental for me. I sat in isolation for a long time, but I also sat and spent some time like visualizing like what are the type of people I want to start spending time with, and y'all start appearing. Because even me, Jay, I never told you this, but once I got like healthcare, I told myself I wanted to start taking therapy with a Black therapist. But Aetna is trash, and so I was not going to pay $150 per session for a therapist. But then something, when I sat with my energy and I was like, okay, what do I really need? Then I started thinking about Tantra. And then like 2-3 days later, you appeared on my timeline. So it's just like, again, like how everything continues to unfold for me. I feel like the more I keep showing up for myself, the more I'm like really just, it's not even about becoming anything. It's more so just like letting go of the shit that don't even serve me anymore. And so again, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for all everybody. All y'all. I love y'all.
We all love each other.
Heart space all the time. Every time.
Yes, but seriously, thank y'all. I love y'all.
For me, I my answer is kind of like Jay's. It's hard to quantify what life is like now versus what it used to be. But since everybody dropped where they're from, I'm from Chicago. But anyway, but moved when I was a kid. So anyway, but all that to say, like, I have a mantra that I've had for quite some time. It means something different to me now. But it's when you heal yourself, you heal the collective. And so, I grew up in the church, and there was always something that just couldn't get answers for, and a healing that I just didn't find in that space. And so for me, the relationships, like I've been able to heal relationships. I've been able to heal my body. I've been able to manifest things. I've been able to, just like have this continuous leveling up in various areas of my life. And it's been blissfully beautiful and filled with like a lot of ugly crying and shedding and, and like all of the things that come along with, these various levels of liberation. But life has just been great, in its totality on this side of it. I am grateful for, people that it's like everything has to happen the way that it does, right? And everything that happens furthers growth, and it's great. So someone had to come into my space, into my life, that introduced me to Jay, right? And Elicia. And so then I was able to, just constantly keep expanding I was already a yoga teacher. I was already an herbalist. I was already a trainer. So I was doing some of this work, and then having like my personal experiences trying to figure out what just happened. What was that? And now being able to understand like, oh, this was Kundalini, or I was practicing Tantra the whole time, didn't even know it. Or, like that kind of thing, And so now, like, from a tantric perspective, I am not, it's beautiful because I'm so much more particular about who gets access to any of my energy. And so, it's like, yeah, you can meet people, like we're light beings. We're going to attract all types of folks, but the discernment that you have as a result of the work is like at a whole nother level. So, Prim, we talked about like how it hasn't ruined dating for me, but it definitely has made me a much more mindful being, like whoever I'm going to, like platonic, familial, romantic, any type of connection. It has, I'm very particular about who gets access to me. And then who I choose to share energy with, just even the healing energy, because everybody doesn't want it. So, so at this point, it's more so figuring out ways in which to offer healing to the collective, to those that desire it. I just want to be a part of healing the 2%. I just want to be a part of the butterfly effect, and I'm good with it. So,
Ashe. So, so in closing, we could talk for like a long time, y'all, because like, and I know Jay's classes, he would let us go on and on and on and on. Like 5 hours later.
Sometimes we gotta get it all out.
I'm just kidding, but
No, she's not. She's not thinking about it. Just
no, there'll be some 3-hour classes here. And
then Joe be like, I got a call, I'll be back.
But all right, so to end this, we're not gonna go 5 hours, and I'm not gonna. I'm gonna bother me. Shut up. Okay. Any closing thoughts that anyone want to share? Maybe I didn't ask a specific question. Something you want to say or share? Anything you want to kind of close off with?
I would just say, thank you for holding this space. For seeking to bring awareness to something that is not usually talked about in a positive light to, mainstream media. Thank you for organizing all of this, bringing us all together so that we could, share some love, share some laughs, and share some very important information in the world of Kundalini.
Thank you. And it's so often we get to see people that look like us,
Yes. Black folk out here enjoy, not
right. Like there's a lot of us out here doing this.
Yes.
Right. It is.
Yeah. So anyone else want to share something or like say something that they wanted to talk, mention and I didn't ask?
I'll say something. Again, I know y'all say I'm not new, but I feel still new. So a lot of the beginning journey was me just like receiving the medicine. And now that I'm getting more comfortable to start putting myself out there, I want to pick it back off of Elicia and just say thank you for like holding this space as well. Because again, it's like me letting go of my fears. It's like we're all stars in our own right. And we use the energy to help us like shine even brighter. Mm-hmm. So yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Fun. Ditto. Fun.
Okay.
No, thank you. Thank you for holding this space. This is a great conversation, great time to catch up again with everybody because I haven't seen everyone except Renee. I've seen Renee a few times, but I haven't seen everybody in forever. So this was a great space. We should do this more often.
We should.
But I love this.
I guess we got to make sure we go to the next retreat.
Yes, you do.
Reunion.
Yes.
Your retreat, right?
It was a great time. Y'all missed it.
Okay. So, any of you got anything going on that you would like to share?
I want to share my closing thoughts. But thank you.
Oh, your closing thoughts. Sorry, before we go to anything you want to share, your closing thoughts.
Yes, thank you for having me and having us. I mean, this is the second time I had. I don't know, maybe third time. I don't know, but everybody just showing love and being family. For me, I love the community aspect of it. Kundalini is one thing as a personal, internal monk type of practice, but when it becomes a community thing, it's much more beautiful, much more powerful. So I love that, and thank you for using this as a vehicle to keep this alive for the people tuned in. Give Kundalini a try. Don't be scared. You know what I'm saying? It can enrich you in so many thousand ways. And yes, the reunion retreat was awesome. Shout out to Shanice. She was there. The rest of y'all, I expect y'all to be there next time. All right.
Somebody who is that said that the reunion was awesome?
I don't know who that is.
Who are you, Rita Be Me?
What's that person? What's the name?
I can't.
What's the name? What's your name in English?
Oh, Sarita.
Oh, that's Sarita. Oh, hey. What up? Love the Sarita. Yeah. Good times.
For sure.
Yeah. So, anybody else want to closing thoughts? So, closing thoughts, This was really great having all of you on here, just sharing a little bit about Kundalini. I feel like we only touched on like 0.5%, honestly, right? Because there's like so much, and it's already been an hour and a half, hour and 30, yeah, hour and 35 minutes. So I want to respect everybody's time and stuff like that. So, because we really can go on and talk more, but hopefully we gave you some good nuggets, some good information. If you're new to this, if you know someone that hasn't done this any healing work or interested, share this video so that they can learn something, right? And I feel like it's really good to hear personal stories, the scary moments, the moments that made a difference, that changed your lives, and just seeing people that look like melanated folks of color doing this work. And this is a time that we really do need to start doing this work. Whether you join one of my classes or retreats, or one of Jay or Alicia's classes or retreats, or Kina's, or Shadow Healer, fine. There are others out there as well, but it's important that we do the work. And more so now than ever, we need to make sure that we're doing the work. Right. And so, speaking of the work, if y'all want to share anything you have coming up, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so you can receive notifications of my upcoming lives. All right. So, anyone got anything coming up that you want to share?
Yes, so I got a couple of collabs. So we will be doing a spa retreat in Colombia. And then me and Bella, we have a Mother's Day event, Threads of Our Mothers, where Bella's going to be doing a workshop for mommies and their babies called Stitched in Her Image. So that will be taking place on Mother's Day, so Sunday, May 11th. And then my next activation ceremony will be May 22nd.
Yes. And where can they find you?
You can find me, as you see, my website is here, but you can also find me on Instagram at my first and last name, Elicia Walls, Elicia Walls, like this.
Awesome.
Yoga is normalized. Absolutely.
All right, I'll go next. So I have 3 retreats coming up. I have Zanzibar in August coming up. I have 1 room left for that. And then we go back to Morocco, and that's half of the time is spent in Marrakesh, and the other half is spent in the Sahara Desert glamping. And then I have a plant medicine Roots of Renewal in Mexico. That's also a yoga retreat. So if you want to get in touch, want to learn more, you can find me on Instagram at Kina_unmasked, or you can go to www.kinahodges.com, or you can go to my retreat website at unmaskedscapes.com.
Awesome.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I have a lot going on, so I ain't gonna try to remember all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying there's too many retreats and stuff. But we do year-round trainings, right? So I'm always available for sessions. We do trainings in energy healing, trainings in Tantra, trainings in Sage. I have my Sage Part 2 program in beta now, so that will be ready soon. Energy Healing Part 2 is about to start a beta, so that will be ready probably at the end of the year. International retreats, we got Egypt, got Colombia, got Hawaii is kind of international, right? So that's another one. And a potentially retreat coming up in July in Jamaica that's likely going to hit the calendar soon, as well as just talking to some brothers. So we're going to have a men's retreat coming up around in November.
Needed.
Oh man, so I'm looking forward and I'm excited to that. As well as we got Darkroom coming up in June, right? And just working, staying busy, staying creative, doing new things. I got some new apps coming too. So I've been on the digital side of things, putting in work. So I'll offer some cool announcements on that side. That's what. Oh, and at Honors Yoga on IG and Honors-Yoga. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that something. Okay.
Well, it's gone now.
Okay. So let's go back to meditation. Hey, come through, brother. We need it.
Yeah.
We need it for sure. We
Yeah.
need to elevate each other. We need to. One of the things, the ladies have done a great job of, supporting each other, but we have to invest in brotherhood. So see the value in ourselves. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else got anything?
Again, I do retail therapy, so I focus on Kundalini, Tantra, Reiki behind what I do, my lane. So again, we're doing Threads of Our Mothers, me and Elicia, on May 11th. May 17th, me and Prim, we're gonna be doing what is it?
We're gonna do a hot face circle at the park.
Yes.
I keep saying that park wrong.
Glen Lake
Park in
Yes.
Decatur.
Yes. She'll be administering the hape. I'll be holding space doing my Kundalini.
Yeah.
She one of my
I'm telling y'all, wait till I start putting them pictures up. I haven't posted them pictures. She was doing the thing. She was doing that thing with that energy, holding people up, moving stuff, shaking stuff up, making people have orgasms. I don't know, releasing demons too. Like, y'all.
Oh my God.
I've been holding back, y'all.
She be holding back. Come on, she a newbie.
Don't tell me she was like this.
She was this. Yeah. All I heard was Then I looked up and I saw this. Then
That elbow.
Third eye.
right. You're like,
She said, Prim, don't worry. I got it.
I got you, friend.
And then one last thing,
Oh,
June
yeah.
1st, I'm having a thrift store meetup. So we're going to meet up. We're going to do some activations because, again, it's not about what you wear. It's about how you feel within your clothing. And then even the purpose of that is just building community around pre-loved clothing. We're going to help each other pick out clothes and just have fun at a thrift store because who don't like a good bargain?
Ooh, I got to come to that. I
That
need
sounds
that.
fun.
Jeremy?
The only thing I got really coming up, I got some body oils I'm about to release for the summertime since it's getting hot outside, and body butter melts very quickly.
His
other
body
than
butter
that-
good too. It had my skin feeling all soft and juicy.
Okay.
There you go. So I got some body
He
oils.
put that elbow to his body butter.
I really do. Like,
He be mixing it with the elbow.
I really do.
He put his foot in.
His elbow, and then he's in that Kundalini.
So yeah, I got some body oils I'm about to release for the summertime. So stay tuned for that. Other than that, getting ready to celebrate my birthday next month.
Hey.
You're cleansing herbs. What about those? Those were good.
Oh
too.
yeah. I still got my herbs. I'm gonna release some detox packages I got coming up for the summertime as well. So I just been in the lab creating products. So that's really what I've been focused on a lot lately. I still do sound healing. So if you're in the DMV area, please do reach out. I'm at rootaholistics.com, as well as that's my moniker on IG. And again, if you are in need of an edible garden consultant, please reach out. This is the perfect time to get your garden started, get all your herbs, vegetables, all those type things started as the summer is about to get going. So yeah, that's it. And I need to make my way down to Atlanta. So
Yes.
I'll be making my way down there soon because I need to come in tap in. It's been a while.
Come through.
That's where repping where you're from. I'm from Atlanta.
You wait for Marietta.
Jersey, Brooklyn.
I'm from Jersey.
Y'all, so
I'm from Ohio.
follow me on IG at prandaraprim.com. Prandaraprim_Tantra. I got my upcoming Awakening the Spirit plant retreat in Brazil. We're gonna do hape, kambo, sananga, ayahuasca, cacao. We're gonna really open up that heart space, release some stuff. We're gonna do some, kambo, natural vaccination and building up your immune system. Ayahuasca is taking a dose of yourself, right? So we're going to be doing that. We're going to also be honoring Imaja. It's January 27th to February 5th, 2026. Imaja is the goddess of the sea. We're going to go do offerings to the ocean. We're going to be in our beautiful white, all white, doing water ceremony, connecting with that ocean energy as well. We're going to be doing breath work. It's going to be amazing. You ready for a good time? Come to Brazil, January 27th to February 5th. What's she doing? I don't know what happened with Bella. But
something going on with this.
did I say something?
I don't know.
What did I say?
They have their own little thing.
If you want to do one-on-one sessions, I also offer one-on-one sessions, tantric massage to release blockages that's in your body. I'm about to do a session with Bella because she needed something. I do yoni steams. I do private hape ceremonies as well, private cacao ceremonies. Oh, I did do an egg cleansing on Bella today. Shamanic egg cleansing to release whatever jumped in on her, but maybe it's coming back. I don't know. God knows what's going on with her. She might need another egg cleansing. But anyway, so follow me on IG, follow me on YouTube, and thank y'all for coming out. We out here.
Hey.
Peace.
Thank y'all again. Thank y'all again for coming. We do need to do this again. I do have room for 6 people, so we could do this, and we could get 2 more people to come on from Anna's Yoga, and like.
Yeah, we got plenty more people.
Facts.
Y'all do. So anybody on here, if y'all want to come out on the net, we could plan another one. Thank you, Bella and Elicia, for pushing me because y'all were like, when we doing this?
Oh, yeah.
And so we did put it together real quick because it was just last week. We're like, gonna do it. Let's do it on the first.
Let's do Thursday.
Yes.
So yeah, let's just do Thursday. So thank you. Thank y'all for who came on and watched. Love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
Absolutely.
Thank you.